Oh my God. Yet another simp wimp blue pilled beta male embracing his son's feminine leanings because the son is seeing how girls are favored in school and media and in the culture at large. Oh no. Listen to this. Devoted dad wears a matching Elsa costume with his son to the premiere of the Frozen musical. There's a Frozen musical? I heard about this Frozen movie. Didn't it suck? Well, what was it about anyway? I don't remember the premise or the plot. Some broad went to live in a castle or something alone. She had the ability to turn water to ice and create ice and shit. Whoop de fucking do. What a premise for a movie. That's female empowerment, mastery of cold. Well, that's right on point for sure. Yeah, despite being fraught with nerves and fear of what others may think. And by the way, this is a very long article. You would think it's a fluff piece, but it's quite long because it's actually designed to be propaganda. So I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. Anyway, before I get into this story, I would like to ask those of you out there who like and appreciate the raw, red pill nature of my content to go check out my website, therealistphilosopher.com. That is therealistphilosopher.com. You'll find a lot of useful, interesting links in the upper right-hand corner of the web page, all my social media links, as well as the link to my BitChute channel, bitchute.com/therealistphilosopher, which is where all my content ends up eventually, so you should probably follow me there. And also, if you really like and appreciate what I do, you might want to consider clicking on that donate button in the upper right-hand corner. I could really use your help, guys. There's 3 ways you can donate. Number 1, my Bitcoin wallet address. Number 2, Cash App. Number 3, my Patreon, which is a per-piece platform, subscription-style donation deal. So I make about 8 pieces a month, so you donate $1, it's $8 a month, 50 cents, $4 a month, a quarter. You get the idea, $2 a month. And you do get a lot for your money, by the way. You get a lot of nice little extra perks. So please consider going and checking that out. TheRealistPhilosopher.com. That is TheRealistPhilosopher.com. And if you're feeling real generous, click on that donate button. Could really use your help, guys. So, devoted dad dresses up as a broad in solidarity with his probably future homo son because of all the estrogen mimicking chemicals flowing through his blood. And the father might be going both ways too. This daddy might be by himself. He just might not be out of the closet yet. Wow. So Scott Stewart wore a matching Elsa outfit with his son to the Frozen musical. I guess that's kind of normal. I think I went to see Disney on Ice when I was a kid or something. I don't know. I don't remember if that was the case. A long fucking time ago. His son Colin, 7, has been obsessed with Queen Elsa since he was 3. Yeah. I wonder if that had anything to do with Mommy watching these movies constantly because she wanted a girl, not a boy. The devoted dad said he was scared and nervous to wear the costume in public. Yeah, really shouldn't be with the way that this kind of stuff is virtue signaled. You actually should be scared and terrified to go out in public as a white male dressed as a white male. That's something you should be scared of, yo. Scott said the fear of judgment from others traces back to his childhood. Oh, poor you. I grew up in a strict family unit under very rigid gender stereotypes. I'm surprised he didn't come out and say they were devout Catholics. Yeah, smear religion some more. Well, smear Christianity and Catholicism. He wouldn't dare smear Islam because he's afraid they'd chop his head off. He's right to fear that. Scott's aim is to change the conversation regarding gender constructs. Oh, no. They got to this guy. He's a true believer, I bet. There are no gender constructs, okay? What you call gender constructs are behaviors, traits, characteristics that derive from the gender. They don't create it, you idiot. What a moron. Oh, man. Australian best-selling children's author. He's probably just doing this as a publicity stunt to advertise his fucking books. Scott Stewart, who wore a matching Elsa outfit with his 7-year-old son. Yeah. Let's not produce strong men to protect the motherland. Let's turn them into soy-swilling pussies so that when the Chinese or the Middle Easterners, the Ottoman Empire, whatever fucking racial group invades, nobody will be left to defend us. Great. He wore an Elsa costume with his son in solidarity to Disney's Frozen musical. I'm surprised Disney's doing anything right now. By the way, could you go to this? What about the COVID lockdowns? Isn't it bad? Isn't it evil? Isn't it wrong to go to this thing? Won't it be a super spreader event? Oh, no, maybe not. Disney's not so popular anymore. Hadn't been popular for a while with their woke bullshit. The premiere of the Disney Frozen musical has shared how he was fraught with nerves before attending the Sydney event on December 9th. The story that he wrote to get publicity for his crappy book has been shared a lot. Yeah, big surprise. The devoted father from Melbourne. Devoted? Yeah, I guess you could say that, but not in a good way. Told Daily Mail Australia the fear of being judged by others for breaking a stereotype traces back to his childhood upbringing. Is this going to be where he bashes Christianity? I grew up in a strict family unit. Yeah, we heard that. By breaking a gender stereotype in public, I was quite frankly terribly scared and nervous. You'd only need to be nervous if this was a Muslim country. Then they throw you off a roof. But where you live, no problem. We don't do that in the West. I mean, we white people don't do that. Muslims might. Scott's son, Colin, has been obsessed with Frozen and the film's protagonist, Queen Elsa, since he was 3 years old and had an Elsa doll he took everywhere, encouraged by Mommy. Why couldn't he have a machine gun? By the way, I don't get this. If gender roles are just totally constructed, why not let him occasionally be a boy as well? Why not buy him boy toys? And, if it doesn't matter, right? If they're all just constructs, because it's a bad, evil construct. What? That's so interesting. By the way, this idea that men would create a set of stereotypical behavior attached to a specific gender, the idea that men would create something of such a nature that would be bad for men, I don't know. Of course, this is women that are seeing typical traditional male behavior as bad and evil. Right. Women who are looking at things from a gender stereotypical point of view created by a gender stereotype. I kind of find it hard to believe that men would create a gender stereotype for women that would engender this kind of negative view of men. So where's this coming from? These are questions you really need to ask yourself, okay? Anyway, Scott's son Colin has been obsessed. Since then, Scott has made it his goal to change the conversation regarding the gender stereotype society has constructed. Change? You mean make it all about what you think and woke, progressive, SJW, identity politics, yeah. Any other views are not encouraged or allowed because, you're very intolerant people, even though you're all about tolerance. Only for gender and ethnicity, not thought. Diversity of thought is not allowed. Right, of course, because you're right and I'm wrong, even though my truth is truth, and there's only my truth. Let's check out some pictures of this guy. Okay, this should be very interesting. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, hold on a second. All right. Homo Dad 1. Yeah, because I think this guy's secretly in the closet and he wants his son to live the gay homo lifestyle that he wasn't able to because of these restrictive gender stereotypes. Yeah, because it's great for society if a bunch of guys start banging each other in the pooper and then not enough kids are born to replenish the population. That's a real good idea. Yeah, that shouldn't be discouraged at all. All right, Homo Dad 1. Oh boy, this is not good. This is not good. Does this guy understand that men are the strong ones, that we're supposed to be the ones that guard the border? We're supposed to be the ones that stand on the wall with a rifle and hold the enemy at bay and fight off the barbarians? That we have to be strong because somebody has to be, and it ain't going to be women because women make very poor men. This guy apparently doesn't make a very good man either. And what is with the son? What is that, a wig? Oh my God. He's wearing a wig. Is the father wearing a wig too? I don't like this. I do not approve. I do not approve of this feminization of men. Next picture, Homo Dad 2. Really? So now we're painting the fingernails too. Is this even something that you allow 9-year-old little girls to do? Don't you parents out there have any ideas of boundaries and limits? You don't put nail polish on little kids. You don't put rouge and makeup on them because these things are meant to emulate sexual passion, the moment of orgasm, sexual desire, sexual arousal. So essentially what you're doing is sexualizing a 9-year-old. Gee, imagine that bad judgment on behalf of a leftist. Yeah. What is that? Is that a witch outfit? No, reader's philosopher. It could be a wizard too. Oh, come on. That's clearly a witch outfit, and he's got the broom to match. How many wizards are walking around with brooms? Pre-Harry Potter bullshit. None. The broomstick and the pointy hat and the witch outfit. That's a witch. Witches are women. You want to know what the men are? Warlocks. Ooh, doesn't that sound cool? Yeah, he couldn't have dressed up as a warlock, though, minus the fucking hat and maybe some black robes and shit, and a grimoire spellbook in his arm. That would look fucking cool. Battle wizard. Warlock. No. We can't have a word with war in it. That's too masculine. Okay. Yeah, we have to be aware of the words we use, because the words we use shape and create reality, because everything is a construct. It's a very magical, occult way of looking at the world. Also totally fallacious. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, look at these pics. Okay, next pic. Was that Homo Dad 3? Yeah. Homo Dad 4. This is some really scary stuff, yo. By the way, this dad, he's doing lifetime damage to his son. He doesn't realize it, of course. And of course, the mother's encouraging it because this is the daughter I never had. And when he's old enough, I'll give him puberty blockers, meaning tomorrow, as soon as possible. Can't have that toxic masculinity cropping up. Yeah, Dad's probably got balls the size of little fucking raisins. My mommy gave me puberty blockers too, and my wife loves me. Yeah, you're a weakling. You're a soyboy. You're a wimp. Of course she loves you. She's a rabid feminazi, yo. She can control you very easy. Yeah. What the hell? There he is again, dressed up as a girl. Yeah. Hope he gets the hell beat out of him in school. I'm sorry, but that's what's required. Toughen this boy up. Make him stop wearing this crap. Who's going to guard the gates? The barbarians are at the gates. Who's guarding the gates? When that wood breaks, who's going to have the strength to hold those gates closed? Not him. Not the father. And certainly not this little boy when he grows up. He'll have little spindly 10-inch biceps and shit. Oh, my God. From all the soy and the testosterone blockers and puberty blockers that mommy's given him. This is so depressing. So depressing what's happening to men in the West. Meanwhile, do you see him pushing this stuff on black people and brown people? It's always a white person, isn't it, that the media is pushing this stuff. But the black and brown man, we want to keep them as strong and hyped up on testosterone as possible, so that when they kick it off, whitey won't have the strength to fight them. So interesting how this is targeted at just white people. What the fuck? By the way, is it just me, or does this boy look very effeminate and almost like a girl? I'm sure this is not in any way, shape, or form promoting pederasty, pedophilia. Oh, no. Sexualizing this little boy. I'm sure there's not a bunch of, NAMBLA members out there jerking off right now to these pictures. Nah! Doesn't this kind of sexualization of children kind of promote the idea of pedophilia being okay, by the way? Something that we're seeing in more and more mainstream circles, people arguing things like, oh, well, pedophilia, that's just it's the same as being heterosexual or homosexual. Yeah, they're trying to normalize it. You're just born that way. The implication being it's perfectly okay because it's natural. Yeah, but as natural as being a homo, which ain't natural at all. Anyway, so yeah, this great dad also spoke of the anxiousness he had in a TikTok video, which has now gone viral and been viewed more than 1.9 million times. Well, propaganda is not useful if people don't see it. Got to get this shit out there, don't we? Yeah. I'm sure there wasn't any algorithm, by the way, on TikTok that was favoring this video. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sure that wasn't the case. Let's check those TikTok pictures out. There he is. Kind of dressed up as a man. My son asked me to wear an Elsa dress with him to the Frozen musical. First of all, You want to know what I would say the moment that my kid asked me if he could put a dress on? I wouldn't care if he was 3 years old and doesn't know any better. It's my job to teach him better. First, I would ask him, where'd you get this idea? From Mommy. She said boys can wear dresses too. I'd go to Mommy. Bitch smack that bitch. No. Bitch slap, whatever. No, I wouldn't do that. But verbally bitch slap her. Call it a task. He's a man. He's a boy. He's going to grow up and be a man. It's going to be his job to protect his Wayman, protect his country, someday protect himself. Because, there's lions and tigers and bears, oh my, in this fucking world. And if he's too weak to protect himself, he certainly can't protect others. And as a man, that's his fucking job. You can't have him putting on dresses and embracing feminism, embracing femininity, which is contrary to what his nature is. Which is going to put him at odds with his own nature and make it more likely that he's going to eat a fucking gun, eat a bullet one day. Don't do that. Of course, you wouldn't marry a broad like that in the first place. And, of course, if you had half a brain as a man today with the way that the culture is so against men and masculinity, you wouldn't get married to begin with. Even if you think she's a good broad. Yeah, they bait and switch you so much you can't tell. Yeah, and then I'd go to the boy and I'd say, you know what? You don't put on dresses. You're a man. I'd nip it in the butt. Nip it in the butt. No more problem. I'd buy him He-Man. What action figures do they have today? Do they have G.I. Joes anymore? What are masculine toys you buy, boys? I don't know. I haven't owned toys in 45 years or some shit. I mean, I have no fucking clue. But, maybe, do they sell machine guns anymore, toy machine guns? Or is that too politically incorrect? They probably don't. You probably have to go to a thrift store or some kind of secondhand store to get like the. Remember when you were a kid? I remember when I was a kid, we had those shiny plastic guns. Or when I was a kid, actually, the most of the toys, a lot of them were made out of metal, like die cast. I had the metal 6-shooters, and you had this roll of snappers that you would put in, and when the trigger came down, it would hit one of them, and it would make an exploding sound. So when you actually pulled the trigger, it would sound like a gunshot. That was some fun shit, playing cowboys and Indians. Now, of course, it would be politically incorrect. How dare you, little boy, realist philosopher, fake shooting Indian? How racist of you. Yeah, if it was a female Indian, you're a racist and a sexist. Son of a bitch, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, whatever I was 45 years ago. It's crazy shit. You nip this shit in the bud, and you reinforce his masculine traits. You don't try to push onto him the traits of the opposite sex, which, by the way, if they are just arbitrary in nature and all constructs, why would one be favorable over the other? Why would it matter? Then it wouldn't matter. But masculine traits are evil. Yeah, because men would create things that are harmful and evil. That makes a lot of sense. Men are going to create their own gender constructs, and they create things that are horrible and evil and damaging to them. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to make myself a turkey sandwich and pour on some poison, some strychnine, with a little, hydrochloric acid thrown in. Oh, yeah. That makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. I am so nervous, he says. Yeah, I don't know why. You'll get a pat on the back, pal, believe me. Pathetic. So fucking pathetic, yo. So earlier this year, Colin, Scott, and his wife all dressed up as Elsa. Solidarity with the young boy. Yeah, again, he's 9. You don't encourage this. He can't drive, he can't drink, he can't smoke. Oh, but, he can choose to be a Wayman if he wants. No, he can't. To go see the Frozen 2 movie, despite what others may have thought. Last time at the cinema, my son was very nervous, too, because he was worried about what people may think. I don't get this. This is the mainstream, pushing these ideas that the majority of people are just right-wing terrorist nuts. And if you venture outside of the traditional whitey norm, you're going to get stoned to death. They really don't have a concept of how reality works in the West and how tolerant the people that they're branding as intolerant actually are. We're probably too tolerant, by the way. No, probably. We are. But this time, he was completely filled with confidence. That's part of the problem. Despite walking the streets of Sydney, see, this is Australia. Yeah, big surprise that this is from Australia. Sydney, wearing matching Elsa dresses, Scott pushed through the nerves, held Colin's hand tightly, and received nothing but positive words of support after arriving at the event. See? The fact that this guy was so terrified tells you he doesn't understand how reality works. Doesn't understand objective reality at all. He's been sold a bill of goods that are lies. By the way, I wish people had given him a hard time. We need stigma against this kind of shit. Scott said his son, who was very excited about the musical, was a voice of reassurance and enabled him to calm his stress and nerves. Wow, so the kid is the adult in this relationship. Big shocker. When we were driving to the theater, Colin kept saying, "This is going to be so much fun, and we're going to have a great time." Oh, boy. Sounds like a woman who's enthralled to his emotions. It's almost as if the roles had switched and he was supporting me at this time. That's because he's the boss. This is the problem with modern-day parents. Another problem, they let their kids rule the roost. And if the kid has a whimsy, no matter how abstract it might be, let's just embrace it. Because all of reality is just an abstraction, really. They don't understand what an abstraction is. Oh, it's all relative. Yeah, well, it's all relative. Perception's reality, so it really shouldn't matter what reality we embrace, right? Because it's all just artificial anyway and arbitrary, right? Oh, man, throughout 2020, Scott has gained a massive following of more than 250,000 people on social media, which has generated huge awareness and discussion about stereotypes, as well as helped him sell a lot of books, which is probably what this is mostly about. He said the response has been mostly positive, although I don't think he realized that. I do think he also believes this shit, because if he didn't, and he had a conscience, I think it would get to him maybe that he was helping perpetuate this progressive woke bullshit of turning boys into girls, which is in no way, shape, or form good for them. All you got to do is look at the transgender suicide rate to have some idea of just how bad this type of ideology that essentially promotes mental illness really is. He said the response has been mostly positive. So, I see. I think a lot of the time when these people say they were afraid of this or that, they're really just trying to virtue signal about how brave they are. I think this guy knew, not even deep down, that he wasn't going to face any backlash. He's just going to get a bunch of pats on the back. But I would not look like a progressive hero if I talked about the fact that I was aware that nobody would bother me, and in fact, people would pat me on the back and tell me how brave I was. Yeah. I've received questions from people around the world asking about gender, the transgender community, sexuality, bullying, and other concerns around support from family, he said. Bullying. I don't think people get just how far the Western world has fallen. Now, when I was a kid, you did this kind of thing, you'd get beat up. I'd have been beat up by my dad. I would have been beat up by my classmates. You'd have had your head dunked in the toilet while it was full of somebody else's turds. Because people understood men need to be men and women need to be women. Yeah, but that's not happening now. Spare me this bullying. There ain't no bullying going on in the Western world. The only place you're going to face bullying for this kind of stuff is in Middle Eastern countries, okay? Where the bullying will take the shape of getting tossed off a roof, which you probably won't survive. And if you do, they'll just haul you back up there and throw you off again. If you survive the first time, you won't the second. We were able to have in-depth, respectful discussions online, even when we didn't agree with each other. When asked why he thinks men wearing dresses angers some people in society, where? He just said he went out and he only got kudos and praise, and nobody confronted him in a negative way. So where's the anger? I think people should be angry. And I don't think this should be tolerated. I think he should have had the dress pulled up over his head, been given an atomic wedgie. I think he should have faced huge backlash. Oh, but no such thing. And then this article goes on to say, why do you think there's so much anger? That's the problem. There isn't. But there should be. We should be just as intolerant as leftists are, okay? Scott said there's a number of reasons, but one relates back to the set of rules, i.e. stereotypes that have been created, such as girls being associated with pink and boys blue. Are you aware that scientific studies have been done with newborns? All they can do is go, yeah, they can't speak. They don't understand concepts yet. And yet the boys overwhelmingly go for blue and the girls go for pink. It's rooted in biology, bitches. It's not a social construct. Of course, these idiots think everything is a social construct. We're all born as a blank slate, and biology in no way, shape, or form informs our behavior. Oh, okay, so interesting. So how do you explain all the studies with the newborns and all the boys favoring blue and all the boys favoring blue and all the girls favoring pink, even though they're like, a week old? They don't know anything about that. They've done no research. They don't even try to expose themselves to ideas, thoughts, facts that countermand their own beliefs. Rather than confronting or supporting, many people simply lash out in an attempt to put the person back into the set of rules. Where? Not doing it in public. I don't give a fuck about keyboard warriors telling you you're doing the wrong thing. Whoop de fucking do. By the way, he said that every conversation he had online with people, even the ones that agreed with him, were respectful. So where are you facing this mega backlash? Where are you facing any backlash? He's not. Continuing the virtue signal about how brave he is. Because he's facing so much conflict, even though nobody confronted him in a negative way. Oh, boy. This behavior was noticed when an uproar of individuals were angered after Harry Styles wore a dress on the cover of Vogue and when Elliot Page came out as transgender. Yeah, okay. Uproar. That's a leftist characterization. There are no uproars, which, again, is a big part of the fucking problem. Look, if you want to beat the enemy, sometimes you have to employ the weapons of the motherfucking enemy. They employ terror. Sometimes you have to employ terror as well. They're going to bomb your civilian targets. You don't say, well, we're better than them. We're not going to bomb their civilian targets. We're just going to bomb military targets. Well, you know what they're going to do immediately? They're going to surround their military targets with civilians. And then, you can't destroy their ability to create bombs and tanks and guns, and they win the war. Eventually you won't be able to bomb anything. Oh, we're too good to use their tactics. You want to know who says that? Your Ben Shapiro's of the world. Your controlled opposition, okay? That is really being paid and controlled by the other side to keep you in line. And don't you dare stoop to the level of your enemy. No, I'm going to stoop to that level. I'm going to fight fire with fire, baby, and you need to start doing so as well and be just as intolerant as the left. It's the only way you're going to beat them. The only fucking way. Though through family support, Colin is now confident enough to wear whatever he likes in public. You didn't even need that kind of support. Nobody's going to bother you, and that's part of the problem. And Scott says his wardrobe is filled with colorful costumes and dresses he wears regularly. Yeah, try wearing that to your job. See how that works out, Pinhead. Of course, I'm quite sure that very soon Australia will be passing laws to protect gender expression, even in private businesses. Well, they're a private business. They can do whatever they want. Isn't that what they say about YouTube and Facebook and Twitter? They can ban whoever they want. Oh really? They're a private business. But of course, if that private business chooses to go against the grain of the left's narrative, they're not a private business. Even though they're a private business, they can't do that. They can't do what they want in their own business. But then you say that YouTube could. Yeah, but what they're doing is advancing our narrative, protecting our narrative. So, we'll make an exception in their case. Yeah, of course. His best-selling children's book, the name of which I'm not going to mention, is Pink. Why? It also tells a story about being true to yourself and accepting who you are. I wonder. So the message is you should accept who you are unconditionally. Really? What if you want to be a serial killer and eat other people's brains and harvest their skin to make into clothing? Okay? Like that wackadoo in The Silence of the Lambs. What if that's who you are? Do you embrace that? Unbelievable. This is another problem with the left. They embrace these feel-good, mumbo-jumbo sayings and parables and platitudes without any real thought, without any critical analysis. Oh, you should just accept who you are. Yeah. I wonder if somebody told that to Ted Bundy. I wonder if that's why he went on his rampages. Well, this is who I am. Also, just accept it. What do you think? Should we just accept this crap from the left? Dress your boys up in dresses and turn them into little feminine wimps who can't defend themselves? Let me know in the comment section. And please like and subscribe to my BitChute channel if you have not already. BitChute.com/The Realist Philosopher. And if you really like and appreciate what I do, again, please consider making a donation by going to TheRealistPhilosopher.com/donate. That is TheRealistPhilosopher.com/donate.